If you've ever started a comic and never finished it, this is exactly why. And no, it's not because you're lazy. You've got ideas, characters, and maybe even pages started. But somehow, nothing ever gets done. You see, most artists think they have a motivation problem. They don't. They have a structure problem. I've worked on my own manga, completed multiple volumes, and I can tell you right now, finishing comics has nothing to do with feeling inspired. It comes down to having a system. You see, having a system in place helps you regardless of whether or not you're feeling inspired. If you take this seriously and try to make a career out of it, there will definitely be days when you're just not in the mood to draw. Maybe you're tired from work, or you have limited time to draw and can't figure out what to do during that time. This is where having a system in place comes in handy. Here are 3 things that point out why having a system in place is what you need. Point 1, you don't know what finished means. You start drawing without a clear endpoint, so you keep tweaking and restarting, overthinking, and then never finish. Before starting Hammer, I drew a lot of one-shots, and although I finished the majority of them, there were some that I just gave up on. 2 stories come to mind. One of them, I had no clear ending and didn't know how to tell the story in a way that I felt confident in. And the other was a gigantic series that I honestly was not ready for. As I've gotten older and learned more about the industry, the best piece of advice I can give to someone who wants to draw comics is to create a finishable idea. Point 2, your process is too big. You're trying to make a whole chapter or even an entire series, instead of just finishing 1 page. The idea I gave up on that was a gigantic series was a fun concept, and I even drew 2 chapters of it, but let's just say my eyes were too big for my stomach. It's not that I don't think some beginners can't draw long series, it's that, in my experience, those are the types of projects that get abandoned and kill your momentum as a manga artist. Point 3, you rely on motivation. You wait until you feel like drawing. That's why you stop. Relying on motivation makes drawing comics and manga more of a hobby compared to a career. And although there's nothing wrong with just drawing comics as a hobby, the chances of you sticking with any given project and completing it are lower than if you treated it as a project. Again, I think drawing comics as a hobby can be fun and fulfilling for several artists, but if you're trying to make this into a career, you have to change your mindset. Your only goal is to finish 1 page. After having worked in this industry for a while and talking to several aspiring artists who want to make this into a career, I've realized that many, if not most of them, overcomplicate everything. Reducing the entire process into a motto, finish 1 page, will drastically help your mindset when faced with something that might feel overwhelming. So here's a step-by-step system that you can implement to fix that. Step 1, start small. Your only goal is to finish 1 page. The reason why this can be so powerful is because when you complete something, you start to build momentum. The page you finish might not be the best piece of art in the world, but it's a win you can remember and reference back to when it's time to draw another page. Step 2, define finished. A finished page means sketch, ink, done, not perfection. In fact, oftentimes when I see artists trying to be perfect, they tend to waste time, restart, get frustrated, and ultimately stop the progression because it hasn't reached this quote-unquote perfection standard they've set for themselves. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. If your page looks good enough and it's conveying the information it needs to, then move on to the next one and consider that page finished. Step 3, lock the process. Same steps, every time, no guessing. I've been following the same step-by-step process for drawing pages for almost 15 years at this point. And because it's become so ingrained in my manga making process, finishing comics, no matter how many pages, is not only easy, it's fun. Figuring out the process that works best for you will greatly improve your outlook and making manga experience. Step 4, repeat. You don't build a manga by just thinking about it. You build it 1 page at a time. Finishing comics is not about talent. It's not about motivation either. It's about having a system that you can repeat, even when you don't feel like it. And if you want help building that system and actually finishing your comics, I go way deeper into this in my courses on my Patreon. I'll walk you through the entire process step by step. Or you can check out my Finish Your Comic in 30 Days or Less ebook, which also goes through my entire process and gives you actionable advice on how to best utilize your free time. And if you're actually ready to finish up your first page, then watch this video where I break it down step by step.